Within the rich tapestry of European royal history, the tale of Her Royal Highness Frederica Louise, Princess of Hanover, Princess of Great Britain and Ireland, and Princess of Brunswick-Lüneburg emerges as a captivating narrative intertwined with both the grace of nobility and the fascination of historical intrigue. Yet she had her, let's say, more memorable moments in a tumultuous life. On April 18, 1917, in the quaint town of Blankenberg am Harz, within the German Duchy of Brunswick, she entered the world as the beloved sole daughter and the third offspring of Ernest Augustus, the reigning Duke of Brunswick at the time, and Princess Victoria Louise of Prussia. Her lineage was distinguished, being the granddaughter of the German Emperor Wilhelm II. However, the tide of history swept over her family's fortunes. In November 1918, following Germany's defeat in World War I, her father and maternal grandfather were compelled to abdicate their thrones. This seismic shift in the royal status came just a year after her paternal grandfather had lost his British royal dukedom. But in 1934, a dramatic twist in Frederica's life emerged from the ambitions of Adolf Hitler, who sought to intertwine the British and German royal houses. He proposed an audacious plan for the then 17-year-old Frederica to marry the Prince of Wales, a man 23 years her senior. This suggestion shook her parents to their core. In her memoirs, Victoria Louise revealed her astonishment and resistance to such an idea, which had never even crossed their minds. Intriguingly, Victoria had once been considered a potential bride for the Prince of Wales before her own marriage. This episode paints a vivid picture of a young princess caught at the intersection of royal duty and the turbulent politics of the era. Her parents, prioritising her well-being and agency, stood firm against imposing such pressure on their daughter. Frederica's life thus became a tapestry woven within the threads of royal lineage, historical upheaval and personal autonomy, set against the backdrop of a Europe on the brink of monumental change. On April 1, 1947, a pivotal moment arrived for Frederica when her husband ascended to the Greek throne as King Paul I, following the death of George III, making her the Queen Consort. This transition occurred amid the tumultuous background of the Greek Civil War, sparked by a communist insurgency in northern Greece. In the summer of 1947, the newly crowned King and Queen undertook a heavily secured tour of northern Greece to garner loyalty and support during these trying times. Yet Queen Frederica's German ancestry became a point of contention and controversy. Critics, left-wing politicians in Greece, frequently brought up her family connections to the Kaiser, and her brother's affiliation with the SS labelled her as very Prussian and unjustly accused her of being a Nazi. Even during her visit to London for the wedding of Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark to Princess Elizabeth in November 1947, Winston Churchill commented on her lineage. In response, Frederica highlighted her descent from Queen Victoria, asserting that her father might have been the British king under different succession laws. In the late 1950s, the captivating Queen Frederica of Greece journeyed to Washington, D.C., not merely as a monarch, but as a figure entwined in the intricate tapestry of international relations. Her lineage connected her to notable royalty, being a cousin of both Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. This visit was poised to fortify the bonds between Greece and the United States, an alliance shimmering with promise and geopolitical significance. Throughout her visit, Queen Frederica's schedule was filled with essential engagements. Notably, a meaningful dialogue on spiritual values took place between herself and President Dwight D. Eisenhower in the famed Oval Office. The atmosphere buzzed with the potential of strengthening ties between the two nations. However, the Queen's visit took an unexpected turn weaving a narrative that would be whispered about in the corridors of power for years to come. As her official visit neared its conclusion, the Queen Frederica made a sudden, unexplained decision to extend her stay for an additional week. The reason behind this extension became the subject of hushed conversations and discreet inquiries. During a private meeting with Alan Dulles, the head of the Central Intelligence Agency, Queen Frederica found herself in a situation that would redefine the term entente cordiale in a way no one could have anticipated. This incident, veiled in secrecy and intrigue, not only added a complex layer to her visit, but also left an indelible mark on the diplomatic relations between Greece and the United States. Frederica's trip, initially intended to be a straightforward diplomatic mission, evolved into a narrative rich with unexpected turns, leaving a lasting imprint on the annals of international diplomacy. In the complex realm of global diplomacy in the late 1950s, Frederica of Greece and the director of the CIA, Alan Dulles, were prominent figures. They found themselves entwined in a tale of secrecy and scandal. Former New York Times correspondent Stephen Kinsler recounts a curious episode where, after spending nearly an hour alone in Dulles' office, the pair emerged from an adjoining dressing room under circumstances that suggested a far more intimate engagement than political discussion. Dulles, known for his charismatic yet notorious reputation with women, had conveniently installed a daybed in the dressing room, ostensibly for naps. This detail added a layer of intrigue to the encounter. Despite being married to King Paul of Greece, Frederica seemed to find a certain thrill in these liaisons, boldly attributing the strength of Greek-American relations to her personal escapades. Her actions, however, were not without controversy. Frederica, a descendant of both Kaiser Wilhelm II and Queen Victoria, had a complex and contentious history. As a teenager, she had been part of the Hitler Youth in Austria, and her political leanings were viewed with suspicion. This unpopularity followed her as evidenced during a 1963 visit to London with Queen Elizabeth II. The pair faced an unprecedented hostile reception from the public, a moment so tense that the Foreign Office felt compelled to purchase all 1,100 seats in the Aldwych Theatre to prevent potential disturbances. Frederica's influence extended to her family, particularly her son, the future King Constantine, whom she guided with a firm hand. Her endorsement of Greece's repressive government had led to a dramatic incident in London, where she narrowly escaped protesters by seeking refuge in a stranger's home. In her 1971 memoir, she unabashedly celebrated her connection to Dulles, a man drawn to a lineage that traced back to King Frederick the Great of Prussia. Her life, a blend of royal privilege, political machinations, and personal scandals, painted a portrait of a figure who navigated the treacherous waters of power with a bold, if not reckless, abandon. On March 6, 1964, a significant chapter in the life of Queen Frederica of Greece came to a close with the death of her husband, King Paul, who succumbed to cancer. This event marked a transition for the royal family as her son, King Constantine II, ascended to the throne. Later that year, on September 18, King Constantine II's marriage to Princess Anne-Marie of Denmark symbolised the coronation of a new era. In the wake of these changes, Frederica consciously decided to recede from the forefront of royal duties, graciously stepping back to allow her daughter-in-law to take the lead in public engagements. Despite her withdrawal from the limelight, Frederica remained a subject of intense public scrutiny. The press often portrayed her as the eminence grise or influential advisor behind the young king's throne. The reign of King Constantine II of Greece was marred by political turbulence and contentious relationships with the nation's democratic leaders. One of the most notable conflicts was with Prime Minister George Papandreou Sr. Critics argued that these clashes contributed to the country's destabilization, paving the way for a military coup on April the 21st, 1967, and the subsequent establishment of the colonel's regime. In the face of this challenging situation, King Constantine initially chose a path of collaboration with the military dictatorship, even going so far as to swear in a government led by a royalist prime minister. However, as the year progressed, he attempted a counter-coup in a bold effort to restore democracy. The failure of this endeavour forced him into exile, leaving a vacuum that the junta filled by appointing a regent to perform the duties of the exiled monarch. Meanwhile, in 1971, Frederica distanced herself from the political upheaval and released her autobiography, A Measure of Understanding. This publication offered insights into her life and perspectives, marking her continued presence in the public eye, albeit in a more subdued manner. On February 6, 1981, Queen Frederica of Greece died while in exile in Madrid. Her death, attributed to heart failure, reportedly occurred following a medical procedure. While it was widely reported that she underwent eyelid surgery, a biographer has claimed that the procedure was actually for cataract removal. In a poignant return to her homeland, albeit posthumously, Frederica was laid to rest at Tatoi, the historic palace and traditional burial ground of the Greek royal family. This event marked a sad reunion for the exiled Greek monarchy. Her son, King Constantine II, and his family were granted permission to attend the funeral service. This brief visit was a moment of mourning and reflection as they paid their respects to the former queen. However, the occasion's solemnity was underscored by the condition that they had to leave Greece immediately after the service, highlighting the enduring complexities and the lingering effects of the political upheaval that had led to their exile. Their departure from this world marked the end of an era filled with royalty's grandeur, political upheaval, tumult, and the serenity of a life in exile. Born into the intricate web of European nobility on April 18, 1917, in the Duchy of Brunswick, Frederica's life was a testament to the shifting tides of history. She witnessed the fall of monarchies in the aftermath of World War I, the rise and fall of Nazi Germany, and the turbulent political landscape of post-war Europe. Her marriage to King Paul of Greece in 1938 catapulted her into the heart of Greek royalty, where she would eventually ascend to the role of Queen Consort. Frederica's reign, however, was marred by controversy and strife. Her German ancestry, her perceived political influence, and her connection to a rapidly changing Europe under the pressures of war and political ideology made her a figure of reverence and contention. The Greek Civil War, the rise and fall of the monarchy, and her family's eventual exile shaped her reign and her personal narrative. In her later years, retreating to the Spanish countryside, Frederica embraced a life far removed from the public eye. Her autobiography, A Measure of Understanding, offered glimpses into her thoughts and experiences, yet her private world remained primarily shielded from public scrutiny. In this stillness, she found a refuge from the relentless gaze of both supporters and critics. Her death and subsequent burial in Greece brought her journey full circle. As her family gathered to bid her farewell, it was a moment that transcended the political complexities of life. They came not as royals, but as a family mourning one of their own. It was a sad testament to the enduring family bonds amidst the ever-changing landscape of history. Queen Frederica's story, woven through the fabric of the 20th century, serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of royal life, where personal and public narratives are inextricably linked and where history often writes the most compelling stories. Her legacy, marked by both admiration and controversy, endures as a chapter in the annals of European royalty, a narrative rich with the hues of triumph, adversity, and the resilience of the human spirit. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you love what you saw and are eager for more, we've got just the thing waiting for you. Don't miss out on this next video featuring the life of Princess Charlotte of Prussia, a full-length story of one of the most iconic royals in history.